month on Broadway with this.
Yeah.
This is a lively and energetic entertaining show. What was that first performance like?
Oh my gosh.
First performance was exhilarating. First of all, a little secret. It was our third time doing it with all the elements.
Literally, third time.
It was a exhilarating ride, and we just all looked at each other and were like, we have each other's back.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do, you're right.
Literally, no matter what you do, right. It was incredible. I mean, it was opening night for us, and I don't think a lot of shows on Broadway have a new opening night with like a whole company, you know? So the energy felt very much like opening a new show. And the Queendom was there, our family and friends were there, and it was nothing but love. I mean, we all messed up like more times than we can count on our hands, but the energy was wild.
Yeah.
It just was so wild, and it felt like a warm hug. It felt like Broadway was hugging us, Lena Horne was hugging us, the audience. So it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
So you guys have a very unique, you had a very unique time with your rehearsal process. Was very thorough. What was that experience like?
The rehearsal process? I mean, it was definitely like one of the craziest processes because all of us came in at one time.
Yeah.
I think like the most beautiful thing about the process was like the show's all about connection and standing strong on your own 2 feet, but standing strong as a group. And I think in the rehearsal process, we really found that on a deeper level, and it was quite magical to experience that in that room. And then like
the bond that we created. So we had a little meet up before we started rehearsal.
Yeah,
and we kind of all had this like come to the table moment and be like, hey, we have each other's back no matter what, and we're gonna like be in this sisterhood together. And if you need me in any way, whatever way you need me, I got you. And when we walked into the room, it wasn't our first time meeting, and that shifted the energy in the room.
Definitely.
It created the ability to like laugh and giggle in a more like personal way, as if we had known each other for weeks and months and years. And so that, I feel like, accelerated the bond that we wind up creating. We were like this within the first week. We were like, okay, girl, so where we getting lunch? Like,
I know, it was super fun.
And that doesn't happen all the time. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
So,
it was magical.
Yeah. That is so nice to hear. I feel like it makes the whole experience so much more fun. There's so many incredible messages.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. Are we addressing you or the camera, by the way, too? Okay, good.
There's so many messages in this show. When people go to see it, what do you take away from it?
I hope they take away that they can be powerful in their own body, their skin, no matter what you look like, whatever you're feeling like, that you feel represented on that stage, and that you can be yourself and be confident in every single way. And hopefully you see yourself in all of us in some type of way, and you can walk away with that power in your pocket.
Yeah. I hope that people walk away knowing that they should own it. Like whatever they have, you can own that. I think like this show is all about changing the narrative, which is very Hamilton, but like I don't think but this show is about that. It's like you had this illusion about these queens that literally existed hundreds of years ago, and now we flipped it on its head and brought new life to it, you know? Like Anne Boleyn is known as a seductress when actually she's just honest and a clown. That's it. In a simplistic way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just hope that audiences leave knowing that like I can own who I am as a human being. I want to own that. It's okay to be you. It's okay. And to be you is actually way more special than being anybody else. Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
You guys just have a prom idol connected to your theater that your queen is inspired by. Tell me about yours.
So Katherine of Aragon is absolutely based loosely, I guess, on Beyonce as far as all of her mannerisms, and I believe even her song could absolutely be a Beyonce record in a heartbeat. And I grew up admiring Beyonce. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a Virgo, so we're basically sisters. And I grew up with her. I would always say that was my first vocal coach, and so being able to step in and use all of my Beyonce-isms, every contract I've ever done, I'm like, oh my gosh, she thinks she's Beyonce, or she acting like Beyonce. Like, so to actually have that be an attribute to my show and to my character was like, yes, I hit the jackpot. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
I know.
And like obviously Beyonce is so powerful, and she's so about women empowerment.
Yeah.
So to have that tied to the show, it just all feels so at ease within in my space and my body, how I get ready. I don't have to do too much because I feel like she's been preparing us
Forever.
for
Literally, yeah.
Since I was a little bitty girl
I
watching
know.
Destiny's Child.
That's so
yeah.
real. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Billie Eilish, Avril Lavigne, it gives a little Lily Allen. I don't know if necessarily I bring those things to them. I like to say I'm a mix between Pink, and definitely Tank and the Bangus. Also with a little Rihanna in there, you know. I've changed it up a bit. It's still the same energy, but just like more things that represent, you know, that are a little bit more of my energy. I think what's really cool though is like the Billie Eilish, or when you enter in the Lily Allen, there's this like ethereal place that they can sometimes live in, which I find me as a person, I'd live in that kind of a place, that universe. I do. I literally, like, I know I'm wearing yellow, and it's not that I always see sunshine and rainbows. I don't think I do, but I do see things through a lens of, like, I see the good in that.
She's sunshine and rainbows.
I literally see that. I see things through that lens. So, like, it feels incredible to have a character who's, like, so honest, so down to earth, but also, like, it's like she sees it through this lens of, like, I'm just being honest and just saying the thing that, the truth, so that we can all be happy, you know? So, yeah. But definitely, I'm giving a little bit of a Rihanna meets Pink.
Yes.
I just love it. Last but not least, do you guys have a favorite musical number?
Oh.
I know that's a hard one.
From this show.
Yes.
Like to do?
Yeah.
My favorite part is the remix.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, you're singing No Way and not doing it. So I don't have to do anything but say no way.
That must be really fun.
No, and so No Way goes in. The dance moves, I'm like, I eat that number. She eats it because she's Aragon, but if behind her,
if y'all aren't eating, then we don't eat together.
I'm eating that number. So I would say No Way is my favorite to dance. Definitely. It is. The rest of them, I'm always like, and then my number's
dance
cute.
number.
Oh, and my number's
like
cute.
actually dancing.
I feel like my number's fun and peppy, but it can be annoying.
I love your number because then I can breathe. Because the entire opening of the show, I'm like, okay, all right, are we ready? Are we gonna do No Way's gonna be right?
I know.
Like the whole time, all of Ex-Wives and the chat, I'm like, okay, girl, get your life, get your right. And then by the time No Way is done, when your song starts, I'm like, ooh, this is my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
The minute that boom, go, I'm like, ooh, yes.
And I'm stressed at that point. As soon as I hear that, stress.
We swap.
Stress.
You guys have been on for 2 months now. What was that first performance like?
Oh my god, the first performance was amazing. I mean, energy, adrenaline, a little bit of nerves. Oh, I was so nervous. It was my Broadway debut, so it was crazy.
And she tore it up. You hear me, in a good way.
It was very fun.
But it was a lot of fun because we felt like we're all here together. So no matter what happens, this is for us. This moment right here is for us.
Yes.
I love it. There's so many really iconic and important messages within this show. When viewers see it, besides that fun, lively entertainment, what do you want them to take away from it?
Feeling empowered.
Just like, what do you want people to take away from all the messages within the
What do we
show?
want them to take away?
I mean, empowerment, strength, making lemonade out of lemons, flipping the narrative, controlling your narrative, having the power to understand that you have a narrative and you,
Yeah, and I think also our show is very representative of different women's bodies and what you look like, and I think that's really fun to be able to come to the show and be like, oh, that's me, and like relate in that way.
And to see characters on stage that you don't really see in traditional commercial musicals. You see, like you said, different body types, you see different skin colors, we see different hair representation, we see different cultures on stage. There's hip-hop on stage, there's unapologetic punk rock on stage, there's everything on this stage. So yeah, that's what I want people to take away. It's all here.
I love it. It really, really is. You guys are playing such fun and interesting twists on historical figures. What's that preparation process like in just getting into character and learning about all this?
I mean, we watched a documentary to learn about the history, and then it's really fun because each queen kind of has like a pop icon that it's based on, or you can bring your own pop icon that it's based on, and I think that really helped me like get into the show because it is a pop concert. So,
I mean, we did like some queen presentations. We learned about our Bella had a great one. We did Queen presentations where we did like some research. We were allowed to put like a little fun spin on it. We, played.
She rapped.
I did. I created a rap. I did a monologue.
I love
She did a
it.
monologue and a song, dramatic song reading, and it was very senior. I don't even know if you knew it yet, and it was just so.
I prepared it in the moment.
I love it. I would have loved to see that.
It was silly.
So tell me a little about your pop icons. Did you guys choose yours?
So when we go into the audition, it was like you have like a Rihanna character, Beyonce
It's
character,
chosen for you, however.
and then you're able to say, well, I identify with Rihanna, but I also identify with Lizzo, and also Missy Elliott and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and Lauryn Hill. So you're able to kind of like pick.
Yeah, you can bring your own entity. Mine was Adele, and that made sense for me, so I stuck with her. Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite musical number?
Mega 6 is probably mine.
Really? I'm always tired by that.
I mean, everybody's always hired by Mega 6, which is like, it's just the number where I feel like there's no set choreography, and you're just legitimately having a lot of fun.
You know what? I love No Way. I actually
No Way.
love doing the choreo in No Way.
You're right.
That one's really cool.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
No Way in Mega 6 for me.
Yeah.
As alternates, you guys take on so many different so many tracks, so many roles. How do you get that right?
What is it like? I mean, it's a whirlwind. I think you have to be excited for change and be really good under pressure and want that in your life in some way.
Yeah, it can be stressful at times, but it's really fun to get to do a wide range. And it's just also cool, like, if you forget who you are, in the show you say, oh,
What color am I wearing?
Or I'm
Absolutely.
So that's,
Yeah, and I like being under pressure like that sometimes and like saving the day.
It's a good challenge.
I think mine's Boleyn it's between Boleyn and Parr.
I haven't really gotten to do anyone but Howard, but I don't know. I think Bo's good.
We're like giving Gremlin, which is Bo energy.
I love it.
Yeah.
What was your first performance like?
With 6, it was crazy. Because it was also my Broadway principal debut. Like I'd never done that, and it's just it feels like you're a literal pop star, and you're like, whoa, you can't hear anything, and there's confetti and lights, and you're holding a microphone. It's just bizarre. Cool.
Yeah, my first performance was my Broadway debut, period, and that was wild. I thought I was going to be much more nervous, but then when we got on the stage and started doing the intros, I was like, oh, okay, this is a good time. And then the celebration afterwards was like a feeling unlike any other.
I love it. Well, there's so many messages in 6. When you see it, what do you think we take away?
They take away? Hold on, let me get that in my head. And like expand what people have already put on you. Like you can push through those narratives and storylines that people assume exist around you based off of whatever it is. Race, skin, blah, 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 hair, my outfit. And I can walk outside and be like, no, this is who I am today. And you guys, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Is that right?
I'm going to second all of
In
that.
so many words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like feeling power in your individuality.
Yeah.
And just like, it's okay to be a glittery pop star sometimes, even if you're in glitter or you're not.
Yeah.
Take that in your day-to-day life.
So in your own words, why should people come and see 6?
It's so fun.
It's a good time.
It's so fun.
You're just not gonna not smile and dance.
It's
like,
true.
It's just fun.
Like, even when you are so tired and you're like, wow, okay, here we go. You get to the end and you're like, where's 6? Ah!
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, confetti, yeah! It's like that.
You guys really are taking on so much. What do you do to kind of memorize or relax, self-care? What's that like?
Like I said, I think also being an alternate, like you have to have a certain skill set already there. Like it's harder learned than not. Like
You're right.
I feel like my brain just works in this way to see the whole bigger picture. So that feels pretty good. But in terms of the actual schedule, I would also say it's great because it's a 90-minute show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's tiring, but
It's tiring. I mean, you as dance captain, Ayla, helps out a lot.
We do a lot.
We got our little swing Bibles and our things written down, you know. But I think a lot of it is just like, is your brain? I didn't think I had this kind of brain until I did it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you make mistakes, but you do it with confidence.
That's the thing, and it's
not
like
always
giving yourself a lot of grace.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it must have felt so crazy. Our first performance was maybe our third time ever with all of the elements. It was our very first audience ever. So it felt like being shot out of a cannon.
Yep.
But because we got to rehearse together, it was nice that we had each other's
Yep, we
back.
get cling to each other, but I was definitely a little nervous. I remember like our first pose as we were standing there, I was like, I'm about to fall over. I'm so nervous. But it was thrilling, and the audience was so excited because we had so many of our loved ones there. So it was just like such an exciting show.
Yeah.
Like the best night.
Yeah.
I love it. So each queen has their own pop icon that they're based on or connected to. Tell me a little bit about yours.
Yeah, my queen is based off Alicia Keys, which really tracks for me because when I was about 13, 14, I thought I was going to be the next Alicia Keys. I got my hair braided like her and everything, so I'm happy to continue on in her legacy here.
I love that. Mine is inspired by Britney Spears, which is perfect for me because when I was young, I definitely sang Britney Spears karaoke like all my life. But yeah, mine's inspired by Britney and a little bit of Ariana Grande.
I love it so much. What's the preparation process like in playing a queen? Because you have so many elements. You have you have all the history. What's that like?
I mean, like, outside of a normal rehearsal schedule, like, you know, we learn the songs, we learn the dances, we learn our lines, but this show has a few extra challenges. We use in-ears in our show, so that was a brand new experience that we really had to get used to. Yep. And then also the way we interact with the audience directly was a very, it's a rare experience to have on Broadway.
You don't really do a show where you're looking at the audience and the audience is looking at you while you are unapologetically being fierce. You know, it's a crazy experience. For me, that was like the biggest challenge, is just like getting that confidence of putting myself out there and staring at someone in the eye.
Yeah, but practice makes, not perfect, but just makes you comfortable and more comfortable as it goes on. Yeah.
This is so fun because I always felt like I was at like a historical concert, like a historical, like it's so like everything happening around. It's so much fun. I know this is a hard one, but do you guys have a favorite number to do?
Okay, so I don't know, it's hard to choose one, you know, it's easy to be like my own, but House of Holbein is definitely in the top for me. Like, I know, but it's just me, it's so fun, it's so silly, I know.
That one stresses me out.
Not your favorite.
That one's not my favorite. My favorite is probably Everything. Like Your Song and After is my favorite stuff to listen to and to sing. It's just like so fun, and it feels like we're just like letting go of everything. So love that.
You can take away so much from this show because it's so fun, but there's so many messages. When viewers go to see it, what do you hope they take away? What do you hope they leave with?
I hope when people walk away, they leave a little bit happier. I hope they leave with a lot of joy in their heart, but I also hope they feel empowered and feel confident and strong enough to make their own choices and to try new things and to say yes and to say no and all of that.
Yeah, agreed. I hope that they just feel confident, like a queen, okay?
Yes.
I really believe that, yeah.
Start us out as alternates. You guys take on so much, so many different roles, tracks, etc. What's that like?
I think it's fun.
Fun, challenging, rewarding.
Yeah, lots of those good adjectives.
Yeah,
it's great, especially in this show. I would say this is like the best show to swing, because when you watch the show, you want to be multiple queens. Sometimes, like if I went on for Aragon for a long time, and after like about halfway through, I was like, okay, I want to do Howard now. I'm ready to switch over to Cleves. It's really fun.
Out of what you've done, do you guys have a favorite queen to play?
It's a good.
You go.
I feel like it's a good question. Every time I've gone on, I feel like I fall in love with that queen that I got to play. So I think now I just love them all, and I'm just giddy anytime I get to go on at all.
Yeah, I feel the same. They each bring me joy for different reasons, but I feel like they each add up to my personality. Like, I think they're very accurate for how I act on a day-to-day basis. So anytime I feel like it just pulls out a certain part of me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be like this today.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be this Holli.
I love it.
That's a great show.
So I know this one's a little difficult, but do you guys have a favorite number to perform?
Yeah.
Ooh. What's yours?
It depends on who I am.
Yes, also I agree.
It depends on who I am. If I'm Cleves, I would say maybe All You Want to Do is really fun to do. If I'm Howard, probably No Way or Get Down. And then if I'm Aragon, Get Down.
Yeah.
It depends.
I agree with Aragon, Get Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Seymour, oh gosh. Probably Don't Lose Your Head.
Oh my gosh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they all have different ones depending on what your track does.
Yeah, because
and
of
where
the
you are
costume
in
and if
that
you're
song.
singing the solo. Like I like doing No Way
Yes.
as a dancer, but like it's fun to do. I like to sing it when I'm Aragon, but I like
Yeah.
to dance it when I'm other people.
Yeah.
So it's just great.
Yeah.
What message do you hope that this show sends? And what do you hope people take away from it? There's so many things to learn.
Just
You get a lot of feels. Go ahead.
You get a lot of feels. Okay, she's in the feels. I'll talk. I would say, I mean, Kevin said it at the beginning of this that the women have a voice. So often our narrative is shaped, especially with people that are in the spotlight. Like we look at celebrities and we judge them, we give our opinion on their lives, and that narrative gets formed and is set in history for so long, and not many times do you get to come back and reshape that narrative. And so it's really beautiful to be a part of that, and it makes me feel a little bit safer as a woman that, okay, well, if my narrative gets changed by a man or by whoever, maybe one day a woman who understands me will come back and tell my story the way I want it to be told.
Yeah, that's great. I agree. I think just reclaiming your story. I think this show is one of very few, if not the only one on Broadway presently, that like honors and glorifies and promotes the voice of women and non-binary people. So it's just very exciting to get to be a part of that magic that is all about reclaiming your story. Yeah.
I just love it. What was your first performance like with it?
When was it for you?
Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. You go first. I'll have to think back.
Yeah. I think mine was very fulfilling for me. I've dreamt of being in this show, so getting to go on and like hit that last bam with the confetti flying, I was like, whoa, it's really happening and I'm here and there's confetti all over me, and it was just the most magical experience. Yeah.
I remember mine. Mine is funny. My first performance, so I joined the cast a couple months early, and so my first performance was for Cleves. And Cleves was the last track I learned. And so we had been in rehearsals, so you learn a track in 2 weeks. And so I've been in rehearsals for like a month and a half, learning all of my tracks. And I remember going on for Cleves and walking out and not being able to see my ex and going like this. And then I remember going, and that's the last thing I remember about the performance. I think it was great. I totally blacked out. I don't remember any of it after that. But I think it was great. I felt safe, so that's
You did
good.
it.
I did it. Here I am.
Some of them feel like that, yeah.
Yeah, some of them feel like, all right, this is going to just go the way it's going to go, and it's going to be fabulous regardless.
Yeah.